working on. So, yes, it's starting to fall apart.
So,
What's important to understand
yeah.
is it breaks down something very fundamental to the way we think. And I think this is really important. We have this notion that we fought our way out of the jungles of Africa. We were better than all the other hominids and stronger and smarter, and we beat them and we won. And we have this sort of combative sort of thought about how we evolved as humans. And always you'll hear the story about how we had to fight against other things to overcome them. And then we fought against ourselves. So we sort of convinced ourselves that this is what we do. Homo sapien angry. We fight each other all the time. This is what we're like. We got to the top of the pyramid because we were stronger and smarter. The original story is completely different. It's a bit like when you get your wisdom, you go on walkabout for 4 months and go off on your own.
Yeah.
And that's your rite of passage. You spend your time with the land and the spirits, and it's a different way of doing things. What we're saying is that every now and then humans forget and they go crazy and the whole thing falls apart. Our civilizations fall down and we start again. We've done this 3 times before, and I'm told when this one gets fixed up, we'll never forget again.
Wow. Because that's something that you and I believe, Chris, isn't it? That a reset is almost coming.
Absolutely. We very much into this idea of cycles and that it all the whole thing keeps resetting itself. So is there Steve, is there a point of no return here? I know you mentioned it earlier, and what is that point of no return for us?
Well, it's funny that you asked this. I got a phone call from a lawman probably a week and a half ago. I've got to be very cryptic about this because he told me stuff in confidence about a time and a place and an event that I'm just shaking my head about. Guy comes from right in the middle. He's from the old way intelligent ones, the ones that have held that. And my take is this, and I was concerned when I was told what he told me. I said, oh, for God's sake, even the doubters, even the people who work for bloody Bayer and work for the chemo companies would say, I'm not doing it anymore. I can see I'm wrong. I said, that sucks. He said, no. He said, when that happens, you had to have made the choice. And I thought, oh, that sounds better now. So, yes, I've known for quite some time. The elders have been very vague until I got that phone call a week and a half ago when I got a place. I got a number of people and got some specifics. And I said, you sure? He said, absolutely. We've already made the agreement. They claimed they had a treaty or compact with the Pleiadians and it's been called in. That's all I got from them. And I got a lot of questions.
So do you want to call that end times?
And I knew this. No. I'm going to say one thing. I'll say one thing that I didn't understand, and I asked for more and got more, because that's how the elders work. They give you information. What they said, or what he said that they said, was after this event takes place, and I can't be more specific than that, there will exist on this planet 2 realities. Now, I have no idea what that means, but that's what they said. 2 realities. Some will choose one, and those that can't choose that will be given the other, which gets back to what I've said.
Dude, that sounds so biblical, though.
Sorry?
It sounds so biblical.
Oh, if I told you more information, it'd even sound more so. But I can tell you, you've got to remember that all the old books, all the old religious books were the history books, because there were no history books until about 2,000 years ago. Yeah. All our history was contained in biblical books that were then passed on. There was one comment that was made to me that sounded 40 times more biblical than what you said, and I said, oh, my God, that's come out of the Old Testament. He said, no. He said the Old Testament came out of us. They just got it wrong. Yeah. So, yes, but my take is that that's an incidental sideshow, because the main event is each person has got to make a decision within themselves about what is right and what is wrong. There are things that are going wrong on this planet all over. And as Einstein said, the highest form of stupidity when you make a mistake is to keep making the same mistakes again and again, which is all now.
Expecting a different result.
Now it's time for each person to realise what the truth is, which is what we're talking about now. and the obligation each person has to commit themselves to that truth. Now, my understanding is when this event takes place, you had to sign on your own dotted line and it will be known. So after that point, it's more like instigating this double reality they talk about. Mind you, the next time that elder does ring me up, because the problem with that particular elder is he never leaves his phone number. He just rings you at certain times and you just get the So yes, in answer to your question, there was always talk of something that was going to be seminal. Until now, until I got that phone call, I didn't know what the something was, nor did I knew it was that definite. Now, my take on that is, very simply, I say it's a 51% chance it will happen and 49% that it won't. Because nothing is said in the future that's in concrete. Even Nostradamus said that in the finish. But it could happen. I do believe it could happen. And I think because it came from the person that did, it is a person I have the highest regard for, and who also recognised some of the sacred rocks and understood what they meant. So he's a person who knows the old way. He's adamant that the change is coming.
So, Steve, do you know who Bill Hicks is? The American, yeah. So I'm just going to say this, right? And you can either react or not in relation to these two realities. The eyes of love see all of us together as one. The eyes of hate want us to hide ourselves away and lock our doors and take ourselves away from the rest of the world. Would that have any bearing on this?
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, look, it's not a matter of this.
Right.
And just because you got nose rings, right, and you smoke lots of dope, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be that particular thing. It's to do with one thing. And the elders told me before, you'll be measured by one thing alone, not results, not what you say, but your intentions.
What's in your heart?
Do you carry good intentions?
What's in your heart? Isn't that basically what the Bible says about judgment? When the final day comes, you'll be.
Isn't that what the Egyptians said? Your heart would be weighed against that of a feather.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. Yeah. Look, it's all around that you be judged not by the money, which means the Rothschilds, be a bit careful because the bank is not going to help you much.
But
and as for start spending that money, guys, you're running out of time. It'll be a matter of your soul will be your witness, won't it?
Yeah.
Your soul bears everything you've done. It will be shown to yourself. I've got an idea that some people may fall asleep and they may not wake up. I don't know, but I do know this, that it's easy to make a decision when the answer is in front of you. It's harder to make a decision when it's based on faith and intuition, but that's what they want. You've got to make your decision with a fair lashing of intuition and faith in it. You've got to believe that there is a better way than doing this, and you've got to actually be ready for it because it's got to happen now. I mean, for God's sake, the leaders we have today are the worst that the planet has ever seen anywhere. Geez, I mean, there are so many appalling leaders running around in control that have no concern for anyone but maintaining a system that's falling apart. So they don't care. And people are starting to wake up, but they've got to wake up quickly.
Absolutely, Steve. I mean, that's a thing. I think you're right. We've got to make our own choices here, our own decisions. And I know we talked briefly in the last hour about the Pleiadians, and I was going to ask, are there any sort of representations maybe in Aboriginal or original art or artifacts that demonstrate sort of UFOs or visitors from the sky? Are there any representations?